Good morning, everyone. It's Shauna the Tax Goddess. So I got a really good question the other day from somebody, which is, when do I need to prepare 1099? This is probably one of the most confusing sections, and the IRS does not write it well. It's not written clearly. Okay, so let's back up here. What I recommend to absolutely everyone is anytime you pay anyone to do a thing for you, you obtain a W-9, which is the form that tells you as the person that's paying, do I need to prepare a 1099 or not? Now, you're going to get some pushback on this. So let me start right there. You're going to get pushbacks from attorneys saying, well, we're a corporation. You don't need to give us a 1099, so we're not preparing a W-9. I always smile because attorneys are one of the ones you do, in fact, by law, need to give a 1099, whether they're a corporation or not. And I think this is what confuses people, is that, how am I supposed to know when I do or do not need to give a 1099? Okay, so step one is get a W-9 form from absolutely anyone that you pay. Now, I'm not talking about Amazon. I'm not talking about Home Depot. Those are clearly big, huge companies. But if you have even a doubt in your mind, should I be giving somebody a 1099 or not, obtain a W-9. Now, the easiest way to do this is basically make it company policy. We do not pay you unless we have a W-9 on file, period. Right? So, because if you try, it's a year later and now you're trying to get a W-9 out of somebody, if they really don't want a 1099, they can effectively ghost you. Okay. Now, really, what are the problems here for you? Well, okay, sorry, let's stay on the same train of thought here. So the first thing is get a W-9 that tells you on the form, it tells you I'm a PC, I'm an 1120S, I'm a partnership, I'm a sole proprietorship. It tells you whatever it is. That will inform you as to who you do or do not need to give 1099s to. Now, the 1099 rules themselves are fairly complicated. So in this video, I'm just kind of doing an overview, but basically any professional, so an accountant, a lawyer, an architect, okay, anyone that is a professional service, you are required by law to give them a 1099, okay? Anyone that is a sole proprietorship or an LLC taxed as a sole proprietorship, you are required to give them a 1099, okay? Anyone that's not anything, right? Just hung out their shingle in their name, you are required to give them a 1099, okay? Now, I recommend, and that's what Tax Goddess does, is we give 1099s to everybody, whether we think you need one or not. Okay, that way I am covered. I get to make sure that I get to take my tax deduction, because if I don't give you a 1099, right, the IRS can actually take away my tax deduction for paying you. Even though I paid you and you got the cash, the IRS has the ability and the authority to take away my tax deduction. So it's not very cool, and it's certainly not very nice, but it is what it is. Okay, so get the W-9, prepare 1099s at the end of the year. Make sure that you're giving 1099s to anyone you pay to make sure you lock in your deduction. The IRS, if you are supposed to give a 1099 and you don't, the IRS also has the ability to penalize you up to $100 at the moment, current rates, up to $100 per 1099 that you did not file for however many years going backwards. So there are significant penalties if the IRS really wants to nail you to the wall for not doing what should be a simple task. Now, this is where we run into problems, okay? You paid somebody, you're trying to get a W-9 6 months later. They ghost you. Now what? Now what do you do, okay? We recommend sending a W-9 or sending a 1099 with whatever information you have, address, name, telephone number, the total amount paid, okay? You may still get into trouble, but at least you tried, okay? There's a specific letter that you can send with the 1099 if somebody's refusing to give you their W-9 information. So definitely look at the instructions for the 1099s. It's highly detailed, right? So like I said, not going into the super details here. The other piece that I want you to consider is you also may need to give 1099s to yourself. So if you're using the Augusta rule, the master's exemption, okay, if your company is paying you rent for your location, you need to give yourself a 1099. If you have a shareholder loan between you and your company, or a partner loan between you and your company, you may need to give yourself a 1099 for interest, okay? So there's lots of different versions of 1099s out there. Make sure that you are getting your 1099s filed. Otherwise, the IRS could flat out remove your deduction. So super duper important that you're doing it right. If you have any questions whatsoever, of course, you can always reach out to our team. taxgoddess.com. We'd be happy to try to get those answers for you. And in the meantime, never let the IRS catch you off guard. So just please, before you pay anyone, please just get a copy of a W-9. That way you know that you're covered. Your bookkeeper or your CPA or whoever's helping you prepare your 1099s at the end of the year, or yourself, can figure out and go through and determine who does or does not need to actually receive that 1099. So again, you guys have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to reach out, taxgoddess.com. We help 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs drastically reduce their taxes. This number has now been updated to 423 million. So I think I need a new overlay thing. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day and we'll talk to you later. All right, bye.